Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So today we're going to be reviewing the Pioneer UFO by JD Toys. This is the JD509 altitude hold camera quadcopter. We'll have the links down in the description. So if you're interested in this, go ahead and check the link for the product and where to get this from. And what this one's all about is kind of cool. It has a built-in camera here. And what this one touts is it's got a altitude hold, so altitude lock is what they're saying. So you can get up to an altitude and you don't have to worry about going up and down with your throttle stick, and you can get some cool video just by using your right stick and flying forward and left and right and turning. So this is going to be really cool. Kind of anxious to review this thing, but what we're going to do is we're going to unbox this here, and then we're going to set it all up, go ahead and go out, get some park flight, do some flying in the park and the house, so we have kind of different environments and how it performs, going through all the paces, and then coming back to the bench and doing a final pros and cons afterthoughts on this one and seeing just how it did. So anyway, let's get started. Let's take it out of the box really quick, get it all set up, and then go through everything else. Okay, so pulling it out of the box, just going to go through what we have in these little compartments first here. Looks like that's we got in there. Controllers in the bottom. And then we just have the wire is holding everything together. There we go. Okay, so everything's out of the box, and let's see what we get. So first of all, here is the quadcopter. Kind of an interesting design. This is definitely different type of design than what I've seen. Kind of got this mid-structure bracing, and then these lateral braces out here for all four corners. We've got these light caps on the bottom, so that should give us some nice diffused lighting for all four corners. And let's see, it's all black. This landing gear kind of reminds me of the X1 I just reviewed recently, how it kind of comes forward a little bit and has these braces here. It's got a nice little piece of foam on the bottom, so that'll help with some softer landing, I guess. Looks like here's the battery compartment. Let's see how we're going to open this up. It looks like we kind of pull up on that, and then the whole door just kind of opens up, revealing the battery. So pulling out the battery, and it looks like we're getting a 600 mAh 3.7 volt battery with a JXD connector. So pretty cool. It has a little on-off switch here. We can see this on-off switch on the bottom, so you can plug in your battery, and then you can, when you're ready to fly, you can just go ahead and switch that on. And it looks like on the bottom here we're seeing a couple of different ports. One is going to be the camera, and then looks like there's another port here for future expansion, which is for a Wi-Fi camera. So it looks like there'd be a version where you can have a Wi-Fi version that connects to your cell phone or tablet for FPV on there. Looks like it's got a little microphone in there to record sound. Got a little SD card slot here. Put your SD card in. Here's the camera on the front. And I'm hoping we can possibly remotely tilt this. I'm not sure. We'll have to find out in our testing. And moving on to other parts here, let's go see what's in this little bag of goodies. So good job, you guys, for giving us 4 extra propellers. Really appreciate companies giving people extra propellers. That really helps out. And here's our little micro SD card we're getting in the package, which is a 4 gigabyte. So this is going to just install right here in the bottom where this SD card is. It looks like the writing is going to be on the bottom and the contacts are going to be facing up. So you just click that in there and the SD card is installed. And then here's the little USB thumb drive they give you to plug that into your computer to view your video files after you're done recording. Here's your little charger, USB charger. Plug this into like a cell phone charger or a laptop to charge your battery. Little screwdriver. They give you a little Phillips head screwdriver to work on it. Take off your propellers, switch propellers out. Phillips head screws there. Phillips screws all the way around to do any kind of repair work or anything you need to do, so that's good. They give you a little screwdriver. And of course you've got the manual. This will go through all of your flight modes. There's an exploded view of all the parts. This tells you how to charge your battery, what all the controls do here. We can see. So let's go ahead and go through the controls real quick with the controller here. And they have this little placard here on the top of the controller where it's showing you how to adjust the accelerometer before you take off, and how to emergency, I guess it looks like, cut off the motors. So let's see what that is real quick. So basically when it's on, you're going to go both sticks down to the bottom on the left stick, bottom right, right stick, bottom left, and that should recalibrate your accelerometer. So make sure you're on a level surface for that. And then to disarm your motors, looks like you just go both sticks outwards like that. And that should disarm your motors. So kind of a neat controller, a little bit different colors than what I'm used to. You got the white with the silver highlights. And it does look like they give you a screw in the back, so that's another reason you're going to need this screwdriver to undo your battery door, which you shouldn't have to put back in because the battery door does pop in nice and tight, so you shouldn't have to put that screw back in. 4 AA batteries, which are not included. And then here we go. Here's our sticks. So right off the bat, I'm noticing that the left stick is interesting, and it springs back to the center position. So this must be how it enters its altitude hold mode. You can see how this, most quads like this, the stick will not have any spring on the up and down throttle. But this is kind of like other GPS quads, higher cost quads that have this throttle spring. So when you do go ahead and let off, it should just hover in that altitude. But anyway, getting back to going through all of the controls. On the top left trigger, we have our speed switch. So this would change the rate of flight to go faster or slower here. On the top right trigger, we have our tumble key, which will do our flips. So we click that, and then any direction on the right stick should give us our flipping ability. Then of course, basic stick movements, pitch forward, back, roll left, roll right, and then this would be our yaw for turning the quad. This would be our throttle for gaining altitude or dropping altitude, and of course letting off to hold altitude in this version of Craft. Then all these buttons down here, basic trims. This will trim your pitch forward and back, so if it's going forward and back too much in one direction after you do that accelerometer trimming on a level surface, if you're still having trouble, go ahead and use these buttons to go your roll and your pitch to trim that out a little bit. And then it's not saying this one does anything. I'm not sure. We'll have to test this one out in the field. But this one does your yaw trimming. So it should, if the craft is turning in one direction a little too much, go ahead and hit the opposite way to kind of level it out without you having any inputs. Okay, and getting down here to these buttons here, it looks like there's no LCD screen on this one, just the buttons. So nice and clearly labeled. So this one, it's the return home. You hit that once, you should be able to return home, or maybe you hold it down, I'm not sure. We'll have to test that in the flight video as well. This will turn off and on the lights. Daytime, you don't need the lights, save some power. Nighttime, turn them on so you have better orientation. Start and stop, not sure. Maybe that starts the propellers spinning. We'll have to also test that out. Headless mode, looks like that's the headless mode where you can be turned in any direction, and pulling the stick back or left and right or forward will go the same direction as your stick is, no matter which direction the craft is facing. Taking a photo and taking a video. So basically those are all the controls with the controller, and I like how they're clearly labeled. I wish more quads would do that with these things. So that's a step in the right direction. Some of them are starting to learn that us in the US, we like to have these labels on here, especially for beginner flyers. It's kind of difficult to keep referencing the manual when you're learning how to fly. So I like how they have labeled all these controls. It's a great job. Anyway, last thing in the box is going to be the propeller guards. So if you're a new flyer and you're going to be crashing a lot, make sure you put these on. You can take them off afterwards, after you get a little better. These will lessen your flight time a little bit, and the wind will affect you a little more with these on because there's a little more drag, but you can take these off and on as you see fit with the screwdriver. So anyway guys, that is the unbox and setup of the JD509 altitude hold camera quadcopter. Now this is going to be really fun Gonna go ahead and get out in the field, get some hat cam video of it flying, get some close-up shots, try to do some camera, some hovering ability, see how this thing does, put it through its paces, do some sport flying, see how good it is in the high rates, and see how much it can fight the wind. Come back in the house and do some no wind flying to test really its steadiness, maybe how well it holds its altitude in a house with no wind, just to really test its precision. And then come on back to the bench and do a final pros and cons. So you can see how we're just pushing this to start the props. Unfortunately, it looks like this same button will not stop the propellers, even if I hold it. So it looks like that's where this is going to come in handy, where we just pull these sticks to the bottom left and right, and that will turn off the propellers. So good to know. All right, cool, looks good. So let's go ahead and take this out and do some flight testing, see how it does.